Hi, my name is Mark Malero with Qualified Plan Advisors. And today we're with Rob Massa of Managing Director of Qualified Plan Advisors in Houston, Texas. And our topic for the day is financial wellness, being able to implement that with small employers or small retirement plans. First off, Rob, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And you have some experience with small employers and small retirement plans. So can you share with me, first off, define what is a small employer or a retirement plan?
Sure. First of all, a small employer, there's probably about two segments that we would define. First of all is probably that micro segment of employers, which would be retirement plans that are as little as $0, so they don't even exist, to about $1 million in assets. They probably have, say, about 50 employees, maybe a little smaller, maybe a little larger. And then there's that second group of employers, the second tier, so we'll call it the small employer industry market, and that would be from assets from 1 to 5 million. They're going to have employees maybe from 50 to 250. They could be much larger too with very low participation. And they would fill in those two segments of the employer market that would either have or not have retirement plans.
And how does that relate to financial wellness in regards to those specific markets?
Well, financial wellness is, as you know as well, is a key component and probably one of the most popular benefits today. For that micro segment of employers, what we often find is there's very little data as to whether they've even implemented a program, and it is because the market is a little bit more nebulous. From that standpoint, maybe they have a financial wellness program, but it's not very well documented, or they don't have one at all. And if they don't offer a retirement plan, it's highly unlikely that they offer a financial wellness program. By the same token, in the small plan market, what we find is that from plans to 1 to 5 million, they've tied in about 37% of those employers have tied in a financial wellness program and implemented that for their employees.
All right, very good. So we're not seeing many that have implemented, and it's because there's some challenges. So what can you share with us what those challenges are?
Sure. The typical challenges are actually I think the challenges that all employers face, just maybe more at the small end of the market or small end of employers than we might realize. Nevertheless, even large employers can recognize the two basics of being cost and time. Cost is the clearest one because there's a cost to implementing financial wellness. Typically, it's some kind of per employee per month or asset-based fee or something of that effect that the employer has to pay out of pocket, and that can make for an expensive proposition. And when you're a small employer, especially in the segments that we've defined, every dollar counts. I mean, I myself was a small business owner, and I understand these challenges. And so, if you're an employer with a retirement plan of as little as 0 in assets to 1 million, the first benefit that you're going to think about is offering is health and welfare for your employees, and that's where your first dollar benefit spend is going to go. The leftover dollars for a financial wellness program might be an afterthought, and this could actually be a strategic mistake for these employers because what we find is that roughly 40 to 50% of employees are stressed or highly stressed in their personal financial circumstances. Because of that, they spend 3 to 4 hours per week on their job dealing with their personal financials instead of doing their job. Well, that hits the bottom line directly. As an employer, it can be a really great incentive and investment in your employees and ultimately getting them to a better financial wellness state with coaches and financial training on budgeting and debt management and things of that nature. If we give them that kind of training, they actually will get out of that stressful state, solidify their finances, and then they'll be more productive employees, which also is going to reduce your healthcare costs because they're not dealing with stress-related illness. And that trickles over into that small employer segment as well, where they actually may have some dollars. I think the other problem is, of course, there's this belief that you got to have a 401k to offer financial wellness, and the two are not tethered together. So if we can change that. I think we can change that mindset, that paradigm. We can get people more paying attention to financial wellness.
From what you're saying, there's a benefit to offering financial wellness to increase the employee productivity. So what are some of the ways that you've seen effectively to implement financial wellness in this market size?
First of all, even if you don't have a plan, consider financial wellness because it's an investment the employees will accept. Employees have told us they want this benefit, okay, and they really want the coaching and the time. And they don't know where to get the training, and they don't know they don't know who to pay, and they clearly don't have necessarily the finances themselves, especially the ones who really need it. And it's probably in some ways less expensive than maybe a long-term 401k match if you don't have a 401k plan. And employees can become, like I had said earlier, you can reduce their stress, invest in help them invest in their own personal finances, and they'll make them better, more productive employees. It's actually going to come out in the wash and make you, put money back into your return on investment, which is what we want to see. Another thing, though, employers can consider, though, especially if you have or want to offer a 401k, 403b, 457 type benefit to your employees so that they can contribute to retirement, consider a multiple employer plan or pooled employer plan that we now offer through the Secure Act. This is an opportunity for small employers to offer benefits to their employees that are more comparable to larger organizations. The way that it's done is that small employers can now band together. And I've got 50, you've got 25 employees, this other employer's got 100 employees. We bring those groups together, put all their assets into one trust, and they become a much larger group employer and become qualified for lower pricing and better investments and lower investment expenses, among other things. And so that pooled employer market may be exactly what you're looking for to give you a better cost management structure for 401k benefit.
Very good. So what I'm hearing, a takeaway for plan sponsors or employers is retirement plan size or employer size, it does not matter. So if you currently do not have a retirement plan, or if you currently don't have a financial wellness solution, you can still implement a financial wellness program, and it's still going to be beneficial for the employer, and they'll see more productivity from the employees and happier employees.
Absolutely.
And then lastly, what we're finding out is if you're offering a small retirement plan, you can participate in participating employer plans as well as a solution to implement financial wellness through there. Thank you so much. My name is Marco Malero and Rob Massa from Qualified Plan Advisors.